Is Rotten Tomatoes a completely untrustworthy entity? You bet. I saw the score for Captain Marvel go all the way down to 31%. It may have gotten lower than that. And around about now, and it's moving very quick, so who knows what it is exactly right now, it's up to 49%. It has moved from 31% to 49%. Massive jump up, with a whole pile of votes being deleted. Okay, the votes were around 58,000 when it was on 31%, and the votes now are around only 16,000, with the score bumping up to 49%. So there's obviously very, very, very shady things going on. They're deleting votes that were not in the way that they want, and they've also been pumping in a lot of 5-star reviews. When the audience score was on 37%, it then dropped down to 34, and then 32, and then 31. The user rating numbers didn't make any sense there either. So as the score was falling, it looked like something was going on. Maybe they were trying to take some action to retard the speed in which it was falling down, but it obviously failed. So it went from 37 to 31 in a few hours, but there was something definitely strange happening with the actual total number of users that were voting. So even at that point, it looks like they were trying to do something to protect the score, but it still wasn't moving in the direction that they wanted, and it fell all the way down to 31%. And once it had gone around 31%, that's when things turned around, and the user ratings still were being removed, and obviously they'd hit in some sort of point where they could reverse the percentages, or they had just basically blocked all of the bad reviews from that point on and tried to, let's say, as subtly as possible, move the score in the direction they wanted so that no one would be suspicious. But since this website's still stupid enough to actually show all their actual numbers, I'm sure they'll remove them soon, because it just exposes what they're doing. But they're still showing the total number of votes and so on, so we can actually reverse engineer what's going on using their percentages and their votes. And what we basically come up with are that the likes increased when it went from 31% to 34%, which is exactly what you would need. The likes have to go up. But the dislikes decreased. The dislikes were removed. It's not a case of there were even more likes, so the percentage moves. The number of dislikes are clearly removed from their system. And not only were the likes and dislikes moving in the direction they needed, although the dislikes should not be moving down. They need to be moving up less for this to be believable. They can't move down. You can't delete votes. But anyway, the direction they're moving in, they're actually moving in a straight line, which there is just no way that you would get a straight line that the likes and the dislikes move in the same way by the same amount, unless it's just some idiot typing into the database hoping no one notices. There's about a 600 vote difference each way. You get an extra 600 likes and 600 dislikes removed. So this is 100% manipulation on the back end of the Rotten Tomatoes database, just pumping in numbers and moving the percentage score from 31 to 34% in the hopes that no one will notice. But people did notice. I was noticing at the time. I was going to make a video, but I just thought, I actually thought I'll make one when the percent gets a lot worse, or I should say a lot better, and to see how bad it actually goes. But what it looks like they actually ended up doing was they gave up on their quote-unquote subtle manipulation and just deleted a big whack of votes. Instead of going 600 likes up, 600 dislikes down, they've just went and chopped out a massive amount of votes. So after it was around about 34%, it then jumped up to 36%, but the number of voters dropped all the way down to 4,000 from the 58,000 that was there. So there was around 54,000 votes that they just said, oh well, we'll just chop them, who cares? Or maybe some people have posted things about noticing the numbers were already all fiddled with and strange. I didn't see anything posted myself at that point, but they just went and culled a whole pile of votes. So now with their new voting settings, the score is just skyrocketing up. Is it skyrocketing up because there's a lot of people voting? Is it skyrocketing up because they're just pumping numbers into their database? They're completely untrustworthy. You have to go with the untrustworthy side. They're just typing in numbers. Why even give them the benefit of doubt at this point and say, oh, a lot more people have seen the film and we just decided to get rid of all the user ratings from earlier because, you know, we didn't like them. But now you can really trust us. All of these new votes, they just happen to be in the direction we want it to go in. No chance. So they're manipulating things behind the scenes. They are completely uncredible. I mean, they've destroyed their website with this. I just had a quick look and it's already up to 51%. So every time you refresh it right now, it is moving by a very large amount. It is completely corrupted. There is no way this score is real. I did mention on a previous video that something to look out for when all the votes actually do drop and Rotten Tomatoes shows a score is how big a difference the audience score is to the Metacritic score. Generally, the Metacritic score and the audience score and the audience score here on Rotten Tomatoes is fairly close. Metacritic's normally a little bit worse. The only film, well, there's actually two films I noticed were a little bit different. Spider-Man 3, I had no idea why that was different, but Ghostbusters. So if Ghostbusters was massively different, it was far higher for the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes than on Metacritic. Kind of shows a little bit of manipulation, and it was a controversial film. Here we go, another controversial film, and I think right now Metacritic's sitting on around 2.9 out of 100, so under 30%, and here we got 51%. So it's being manipulated. The score is fake. I don't know what else they can do to look worse. Another little thing to note is when the so-called professional reviewers put their reviews in at first, it was on 91%, and it has steadily been going down as actual, I don't know what you'd call them, people that don't get the special advanced screenings put their votes in, maybe the more credible of the professional critics, and now it's dropped all the way down to 79%, which is quite a bad score because the critics usually give something, you know, much higher scores than the audience for a film like this. So, yeah, 79% versus 91%. Maybe the critic score is more credible, just the gap in it, than what's going on with the current audience score, which is very clearly manipulated. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see if it can get up to 99%, and I'll catch everyone later.